Should Speaker Mike Johnson bring that vote to the floor, how would you vote?
Well, let's be clear about what's happening in Congress today. First of all, I do support the release of the files. There are actually two provisions that are moving through Congress. One is the discharge petition by Representative Mathieu and Khanna. The other is actually being brought by Chairman Comer of the Oversight Committee. And so what I do support is the Oversight Committee's approach to making sure that that information is gone through, that survivors are protected, and then those files are released. And so there are some concerns on the Hill about Representative Massey's approach that it would not actually protect survivors who, by the way, some of which have not come forward, some of which may choose not to be known publicly. I think this has to be a systematic process about how we release those files if Congress is going to make that order, because, to be honest with you, we've never released the files from a criminal investigation before, not to my knowledge, in Congress. So this is something that has to be done in a systematic process, in my view.
So yes on the oversight, no on the discharge petition. Congressman, we appreciate the straight answer as always, and it's good to have you back. I wonder if you heard what President Trump today had to say about this. He was in the Oval Office and reporters were asking about a lot of different stories. This was something that he was specifically asked about because of the survivors who were speaking today in Washington. I want to listen to what he said, have our audience here, and we'll have you respond. Here's the president.
I understand that we were subpoenaed to give files, and I understand we've given thousands of pages of files. And I know that no matter what you do, it's going to keep going. We're having the most successful 8 months of any president ever. And that's what I want to talk about. That's what we should be talking about, not the Epstein hoax.
He also went on to say it's really a Democrat hoax today, Congressman. Is he right?
Well, I think what the president is speaking about is that the Democrats have been failures when it comes to public policy facing the American people. So Donald Trump now comes back to Washington, D.C. as president of the United States, commander in chief. And for the last 8 months, he's had the most successful presidential administration in the modern era. And so the only thing that Democrats can hang on to is Epstein. And I think that's what the president is talking about, is that the Democrats are using the Epstein. Hold on. Let's be clear. The Democrats are using the Epstein files as a way to distract from the successes that Donald Trump is having. And any chief executive would be frustrated with that. That is an honest thing to be frustrated about. We know the Democrats don't care about the Epstein files. When Joe Biden was president, Nancy Pelosi was speaker, they didn't move heaven and earth to release those files. They actually wanted to hide what was going on with the Epstein files, unless it meant trying to harm Donald Trump, and they know that they could not do that. And so that's where the frustration from the president is coming. I think that the president, on the way down, it's about, yes, being transparent with the American people. Like I said, in the Oversight Committee, we have a resolution that's going to move forward in a systematic process to release that information to the public. But be clear, the Democrats don't care about Epstein. And they don't care about the survivors. Let's be really clear about that. What they do care about is creating a political circus to try to damage Donald Trump and distract from the successes of his administration.
Of Democrats when it comes to survivors. I obviously don't know what their thoughts are there, and I realize you're questioning their politics behind this, but you're not suggesting that the crimes perpetrated by Jeffrey Epstein are a hoax.
No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that whatsoever. Remember, Donald Trump, when he found out what Epstein was doing around Mar-a-Lago, what did he do? He kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago, revoked his membership, and removed him. So let's not sit here and say that the president was covering up for this guy. That is not accurate, and the history actually demonstrates that. But what President Trump is talking about is, look at all the successes happening in our country today. Don't let the Democrats try to steal a news cycle so that the American people lose focus off of the positive things happening in our country to focus on the Jeffrey Epstein files. What Jeffrey Epstein did was a travesty. It was a monstrosity to women who were victimized by him and by Ghislaine Maxwell. But let's also make sure that we're keeping focus on the great things that are happening in the country today. And that's my point. The Democrats are using this for politics. They don't care about the survivors.
Representative Donalds, let's talk about the shutdown discussions or the fears here that are plaguing Washington. We know you are looking for a critical vote in those discussions. Very quickly, tell us what you're pushing for in those budget negotiations.
Well, look, right now, what we needed to find a pathway to do is cut spending. And I've been consistent about that with the White House, House leadership, my time here on the Hill. Let's cut spending and be responsible with the dollars of the American people. Let's spend their money efficiently and appropriately. And so we'll see what House leadership comes up with. There's some discussions around a continuing resolution. I think it's important for the American people to know a continuing resolution would actually be a spending decrease year over year. So there are some positive elements to that.
We've only got 10 seconds left, Congressman. Are we going to avoid a shutdown, just to be clear?
I think so. I think we will.